Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. This is game 2 in the semifinals for the league championship, and tonight we'll be seeing the Cochise Stars play the BNL Rockets to decide which of the two teams will take on the Aztecs, winners last night 2-0 over Team Tucson in the championship game that will be played tomorrow evening. The top-seeded Aztecs picked up 2 runs in the third inning and rode that behind the complete game shutout pitching of Angel Castillo to the league championship game tomorrow night against the winner of tonight's contest between the Cochise Stars and the BNL Rockets. Castillo, possibly throwing the best game of his career, used 116 pitches to get 9 strikeouts while allowing only 1 walk and 5 hits. Only 3 Tucson runners got as far as second base, 1 to third base, and that was all in that masterful performance. The Aztecs' offense was held in check, except for the third inning when Team Tucson starter Alex Phillips got touched up for 4 hits and the 2 runs that beat him. Phillips, for his part, matched Castillo by striking out 9 Aztec hitters in his 5 innings of work. The only multi-hit game was turned in by Aztec catcher Anders Mendoza, who collected 2 hits along with a walk while scoring the first run of the game on an RBI single by Alec Kelch. The other run was on a Sal Escariga hit, driving in Jacob Hakami, and that's how the Aztecs wound up with their 2 runs in the third inning. They made it stand up through the remaining 6 innings and came away with the 2-0 win. A quick look at the league standings as they finished up this year. The Aztecs, 20-4, were on top. 4 games back were the BNL Rockets at 16-8. Cochise Stars 2 games behind them. Then came Team Tucson at 12-10. Tucson Champs at 8-15. Rincon Knights at 6-17. And the Old Pueblo Kings 6-18 to finish 14.5 games out of first place. So what we have here are the Stars and the Rockets, and during their tenure here in the league, they wound up splitting their 4-game series. Right now, our national anthem. Once again, a toasty warm day here in Tucson, Arizona. We got up to a high temperature of 104 degrees, which is not unusual for this time of the year. And expecting to dip down, though, to just a little bit below 80, but that won't happen until early in the morning. So right now at game time, 99 degrees in Tucson, Arizona at the airport, which is about 5 miles southeast of us here, and there is an uncomfortable 25% humidity right now. For the BNL Rockets, on the mound will be Trey Mesa, and we've explained several times the conflict and the concern that we've had with the cumulative stats. So all we have been able to go with will be the offensive stats here in Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium as the year has gone along. Mesa will be opposed by a high school graduating senior. His name is Lupe Lucerno, and we saw him out here a couple of days ago as a closer, and he got through the last 2 innings without giving anything up. Checking the starting lineups for the visiting Cochise Stars. Leading it off will be Marcus Mendez at third base, Daniel Gonzalez in center field, and then Robert Valenzuela behind the plate. In the 4th spot will be Sean Hahn. Number 5 will be Gilbert Valenzuela. Hahn is in left, and Gilbert is at shortstop. Jesus Acuna will be in right. Jonathan Diebel will be at first base, replacing the injured. The other night made a spectacular play, and I can't emphasize that enough. Got an out because of it, but dislocated his arm, his right shoulder, as he reached out to try to grab hold of the ball that was thrown from shortstop. First pitch to Mendez is a strike on the outside corner. Second one, swinging strike. In the 8th spot will be Andre Green playing second base, and the designated hitter will be Jimmy Norris. So 0-2 the count as we're just getting underway, and tonight with a ball and 1 ball and 2 strikes, we're right back to the same situation that we have normally at the beginning of the game, the right side of the infield and outfield having a little problem with the sun. On the inside corner on a breaking pitch, and looked at a called strike, so that will be the first out of the top of the first inning, and that will bring up Daniel Gonzalez. So Trey Mesa getting the first batter to face him, out on a called third strike, and that will bring us up here to Daniel Gonzalez. First pitch to him is a little high and away. Daniel starting in left field tonight. Well, let's amend that and say that he's starting in center field. Way outside, 2-0. Daniel coming into the stadium batting .237, as the stronger of the batting averages as a team is being held by the B&L Rockets. Cochise Stars are into the middle 200s, like 248 or something like that, and the B&L Rockets up at 321. So Gonzalez looks at the third pitch as a ball, and Mesa on the verge of walking the first hitter or the second hitter in the game so far. Back to the plate and right down Main Street for the proverbial called 3-0 pitch. 3-1. We'll check the infield here in just a second for the B&L Rockets. This one swung on, and we'll bring that out to a full count, 3-2. So 1, 2, 3 balls, and then 4 and 5 pitch will be strikes. So we'll see what happens with pitch number 6. Rocking and firing as Mesa gets the outside corner for a called strike on that extended strike zone that they have in the Sun Belt League, and that'll bring up Robert Valenzuela. He is the 4th leading hitter on the club, but comes into the stadium batting .342. And the on-deck hitter is Sean Hahn. Hahn is the 2nd leading hitter on the club at .353. So a couple of outs here in the top of the first inning. This one swung on and fouled to the stands on the right side. Stands down both lines, as you can probably see, nothing in the outfield. In the corners, the distance is 340 feet. Straightaway right and left field, 375. Way outside for a ball, 1-1. In the gaps, it's 390, and straightaway center field is 405. Valenzuela, Robert, his brother, Gilbert, and Dad is managing the whole thing. The ball is called the second ball, 2-1. This one floats high, and for the second batter in a row, Trey Mesa will go to a 3-ball count on a 3-2 count to Gonzalez. He got him looking. 3-1 to Robert Valenzuela. Misses outside, and that will be the first walk of the ball game. So a couple of strikeouts and a walk. to lead things off here in the top of the first inning. Just getting underway. This is the second semifinal game. The first one last night was won by the Aztecs 2-0. The winner of tonight will meet the Aztecs tomorrow here at Kino Stadium, and that will be the playoff champion. The regular league champion, of course, was the Aztecs. Outside corner at the knees for a called strike. Sean Hahn playing in left field tonight. First baseman Graybosch, holding against the runner, is in the shade right now. This one fouled off to the right side, and Hahn finds himself behind 0-2. Well, that ball is bouncing all over the place like a pinball machine here. The old ball hawk for the Cochise Stars is on it. Takes a great deal of pride in chasing down the foul balls to get them back into play. Move to first. Well, he steps off the bag, or off the rubber rather, and just kind of makes a motion towards first base. Need to be careful with that and make sure you step back and not forward. Ball is high, 1-2 strikes. Gilbert Valenzuela is the on-deck hitter, and Gilbert batting .289 in his appearances here in Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. Floats high. 2-2 will be the count. The right fielder, Wiltshire, still having to fight off the sun just a bit, as is the second baseman, Edwin Martinez. But the sun fairly shortly will go behind the stadium superstructure. This one wrapped foul down the left side. Rattles around a little bit, and Logan Sanders will retrieve it. Boy, you want to talk about a young man that had a career night. Night before last, on Monday evening, these two teams had to hook up to play the final game of the season because they got rained out on Saturday. And Sanders went bananas. He was 4 for 5 with 5 RBIs. And I'm certain that the BNL management team would like to see that same output tonight. 2-2 strikes. Runner goes, fouled off to the right side. And we'll come back with them even at dose with the sixth pitch of the at-bat. So the ball hawk grabs that one and returns the previous 2 that he got. Move to first. Doesn't get him. Man, I may be old school, but you do not show your A move to first base until you really, really need it. 2-2 strikes. Half-hearted late swing, and the side is struck out. 2 looking and 1 swinging. And nothing across here in the top of the first inning. The Cochise Stars, with their opportunity, come away with nothing. The BNL Rockets will be up in the bottom of the first. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire store in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in store. There are 5 locations. Pick the one closest to you in the 2400 block of North First, 3501 East Broadway, 290 West Wetmore Road, 4800 block of East Sunrise, or the 7950 spot on East Speedway. Well, heck, anywhere you go to a Firestone Complete Auto Care Center, you will not be disappointed. Sanders will step in to start things off here in the bottom of the first inning. As I mentioned, he had a career night before last in a game against this same team. Went 4 for 5 and had 5 RBIs. First pitch to him is on the outside part of the plate. And even with that tremendous output, that is the first time that he really shone here in the stadium, as his overall batting average is only .241. He'll be followed by Jorge Bojorquez, as a second strike is called, and then the catcher, Kiko Romero. Sanders in the hole 0-2. And we'll look at the defensive alignment here in just a second. This one misses outside, 1-2. At third base, Marcus Mendez. At shortstop, Gilbert Valenzuela. At second base, Andre Green, and Jonathan Diebel is at first tonight, 1-2. Swung on and missed. Gets away from the catcher, but he throws down to first base and records the out there. So a strikeout for the high school just graduated senior, Lupe Lucero, who has not made a decision yet as to where he'll play collegiately. That will bring up Jorge Bojorquez. Bojorquez on the year here in the stadium, batting .372. Outfield for the Cochise Stars will be Hahn in left, Gonzalez in center, and Acuna in right. First pitch high and inside to Bojorquez. Mentioned that he was at shortstop tonight. One ball, no strikes. On the knees for a called strike. Behind the plate is David Trinidad. Charlie Lujan is at first. Bagdamar Dagnino is at second base, and John Gross, who was behind the plate last night, has moved over to third. This one just misses down and away, and we'll go to 3 balls. Check that, 2 balls and 1 strike. Kiko Romero is the next hitter. Lucerno to the plate, misses outside in basically the same spot, and the count will stretch out to 3-1. Outfield pretty much straight away and medium deep. Big ballpark. This was a AAA ballpark when it was first constructed. And the AAA teams have since moved away. Second batter draws a walk. So that will put Bojorquez on first base with 1 out. And Kiko Romero stepping in. He's had a good run here in the stadium, batting .425. And Romero was 1 for 4 in that game against the Stars on Monday. He's gotten at least a base hit in the last 4 stadium appearances. This one lifted high and looping foul down the left field side and gets into the stands out there. So strike for Romero. Giving chase down there, Gilbert Valenzuela and the left fielder Sean Hahn. But to no avail, it was well back into the seats. Going to go down and close one of the gates down there. Well, apparently not. Ran right by it, so maybe didn't notice that it was open. Hopefully they'll get that taken care of before somebody goes there. This one blasted off of Dibble's glove and goes into short right field. Now, we'll keep an eye out and see whether they're going to call that a hit or an error. They immediately put up that it was a hit. Man, that ball was really tagged. Dibble had to go hard to his right to try to get a glove on it, and it came off of his glove and went into short right field. That allowed Bojorquez to go from first to third. So we have 1 out and runners on first and third, and Jesus Lopez will be the batter. Jesus steps in there batting .364 in his stadium appearances. Jesus playing third base tonight. So Lucerno has himself in a little bit of trouble here. This one wrapped out towards second. To second base for 1 and back to first for a double play. And, of course, that it negates the run that did come across. And with the Lopez hitting into a 4-6-3 double play, that's going to end the inning. And the result was the same for the B&L Rockets as was in the top of the inning for the Cochise Stars. Nobody got anything. You know, when you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at East 22nd Street and Kolb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they are there to satisfy. Chewy's at 22nd Street is open until 10 on weeknights and Sundays, until 11 on Fridays, and until midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, the funky decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Kolb. To the top of the second inning of work out here for Trey Mesa. Mesa got through the first inning with 21 pitches. And the first pitch to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the second, Gilbert Valenzuela, the shortstop, is outside for a ball. Even farther outside and 2 balls. Infield, Lopez at third, Bajorquez at short, Martinez at second, and Graybosch at first. We'll check the outfield in just a second. Jesus Acuna is the next scheduled hitter, and then Jonathan Diebel. Pitch is a called strike, 2-1. The outfield for the Rockets, Sanders in left, Osuna is in center, and Wiltshire is in right. 2-1 swung on, nothing there, 2-2. Now the B&L outfield has a tendency to play rather shallow. So in left field, Sanders relatively shallow, and in right kind of medium shallow, if you will, Wiltshire. This pitch off speed and misses high, 3-2. This is the second time in the ball game that Mesa has gone 3-2. Went 3-2 and got Gonzalez looking for a strikeout. Went 3-1 and gave up a walk. Hit him in the back. So the leadoff runner is on. Nobody out, of course, as Jesus Acuna comes up, batting .200. The differential in the batting average here in the stadium as a team, .273 for the Stars. For the B&L Rockets, .323. But the teams battled to a 2-2 record with one another. The Rockets won the first 3-2, lost the second 4-2, lost the third 9-1, and then came back in the important game for second place and home team advantage here. They beat the Stars 10-6. That was on Monday night. A round to bunt, but the ball was up high, and very wisely Acuna came back away from it. When you're bunting, does not matter. You've got to bunt the strike. You'll take the walk if they're not going to throw the ball over the plate. That'll accomplish the same thing, and you won't have to give up an out to get it. Quick move to first, and Valenzuela is back in. At the set, to the plate, bounces it pretty sharply, run to second base, back to first, and they get a 1-6-3 double play. Oops. So nobody on now and 2 outs. The bunt was hit rather sharply right back to Mesa. He whirled around and threw it to Bajorquez to get the first runner at second. And since the bunt was hit so sharply, they had time to get the ball to first base and record the second out. First pitch to Dibble is a called strike. Now, the other night, Bojorquez made an outstanding play. Second pitch is swung on at shortstop and gunned it over to first, and stretching way out to get a hold of it and record the out was Sergio Santa Cruz. And unfortunately, the young man dislocated his right shoulder, and he is not in the game tonight. Now, the batting average differential here in the stadium is 118 for Dibble, the ball player that's up there now, versus 286 for Sergio. Swung on and missed, and even though there was a hit batter, 3 up and 3 down in the inning, and another economical pitch inning happening there for Mr. Mesa, as he threw just 32 total pitches up to this point, and that means he threw 9 in the second inning. Nothing across in the top of the second inning, and after 1.5 innings of play, it is all tied up at nada. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in uniforms for sports and schools, plus equipment and company business. That's the reason for their full range of services, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press, custom printing, banners, and much more. Elite Sporting Goods, mark it down, Elite Sporting Goods. They're over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web, Elite Sporting Goods. Preston Clifford will start things off. He's the designated hitter. Then the first baseman, Ryan Graybosch, and Marco Osuna is the third scheduled hitter here in the bottom of the second inning. Outside corner for a called strike. Osuna got through the first inning with only 10 pitches, walked one and gave up a base hit. This one leaning out and getting it foul. 0-2 for Preston Clifford. Clifford in the stadium on the year batting .483. Sun has gone behind the superstructure or the clouds in the west. I'm not sure which, but in either regard, we don't have a sun field or infield this time. This one fouled off, and the count will stay at 0-2. The wind is blowing from the southeast, which is a little bit unusual, maybe more from the south than the southeast. Normally it goes from the left foul pole to the right foul pole. 0-2 pitch, hammered foul left side. Spotty clouds around the area, and they were talking about a 20% chance of rain today. Not nearly as cloudy as it was last night. And we escaped with no rain in the area, or in this particular area. This one fouled off his foot. Ouch. So 5 consecutive strikes. 2 of them counted. The other 3 were fouled off, and the count is 0-2. Osuna rocks and fires, comes to the plate, reaching out on a swinging bunt that is going to go foul. So that is the 4th consecutive pitch that has been fouled off by Clifford. We can kind of tell whether the skies are overcast on the left side or the west side by whether we get any color on the clouds that are above us. So far we have not had that. 0-2 pitch. High and away for a ball. So we will go to the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Nobody is on. This is the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the second inning. Nothing on the scoreboard for either team. swung on, and it gets away from the catcher, but he gets it down to first base in time for the recorded out and a second strikeout for Lucerno. Robert Valenzuela had that ball bounce in the dirt and then bounce away from him. Preston Clifford swung at a ball that was probably out of the strike zone. And the first out of the bottom of the second inning recorded, and Ryan Graybosch steps in. Ryan batting .281 here in the stadium. Outside corner at the knees for a called strike. Marco Osuna is the on-deck hitter. Next pitch misses for a ball and will go 1-1 count. Lucerno has exceeded already the 10 pitches that he threw in the first inning. The 11th pitch of the at-bat is a ball, or I shouldn't say at the at-bat for this inning so far. He only had 10 in the first inning. Did, however, give up a walk and a base hit, but no runs came across. On the knees for a called strike. 2-2 will be the count. Acuna pretty deep in right field. Gonzalez medium in center. Pitch is down in the dirt, looking at Hahn in left, medium deep. 3-2 count for Graybosch, the first baseman tonight for the Rockets, and that's been his pretty standard spot, although he's been behind the plate and in right field at different times. 3-2, swung on, and nothing but air. 2 outs, 2 consecutive strikeouts here, and that marks 3 for Lucerno. Struck out the first batter that he looked at, Logan Sanders, and got out of the inning after a walk and a base hit on a 4-6-3 double play. This one wrapped down towards first baseman Dibble, and he misses it, and it goes into right field. Now let's see whether they give him a hit on that or if they felt that it touched his glove. He kind of reached for it, and the ball bounced over his glove, so we'll keep a close eye and see whether they call that a base hit. No, they do rack it up as an error on the first baseman. So a 2-out runner on first base, and Tyler Wiltshire will be the hitter. Tyler, 231 in the stadium. Couple of outs, moved to first. Almost got him. Got a rise out of the Cochise Stars dugout, which is on the first base side, but first base umpire Charlie Lujan called him safe. Outside goes the pitch. 1 ball and no strikes. Went through the game last night with only 1 error, and hopefully that will be the only error that we see tonight. 1 ball and no strikes. Down low, 2-0. So Lucero started off the first two batters in the inning here with a strike. Osuna swung at one that went down to first base, so that, I guess, would be considered a first pitch strike. Blasted into left field. It's hit hard enough that Osuna will not get past second base, so we have runners on first and second. The base hit by Wiltshire. And we'll go to the 5th batter in this inning, Edwin Martinez. Martinez playing second base tonight. And he comes into the game batting .350 here in the stadium. Now, I make a big deal about the fact that the batting average is here in the stadium. They play on South Fields as well during the regular season. Breaking pitch catches the outside corner for a strike. The electronic scoring that we have going on did a fine job in the stadiums and at the games, but for some reason swung on and missed. They didn't get the cumulative stats, so we're just going on what we see in front of us here at the webcast. So Edwin Martinez, 0-2 for the second baseman. Outside for a ball. Edwin against the Stars when they played on Monday was 1 for 3. This one fouled at the plate, and I think that might have stung Robert Valenzuela behind the plate. He kind of bounced up and down, but isn't showing any ill effects. So we'll go to the 5th pitch of the at-bat with the count 1-2, and runners on first and second. The B&L Rockets had runners at first and third in the first inning, but hit into a double play high and away, squared up at 2. Double play, the pitcher's best friend. Three-two. This one fouled to the left side. A little surprised that the runners didn't take off immediately. On a 3-2 count with 2 outs, everybody needs to be rocking and rolling. And that was not so much the case. They did take off ultimately, but they did not go right when the pitch was let. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the second inning. At the set, runners go. This one fouled right side. It'll get into the stands. Going over to take a look at it is Acuna, but it was well back into the stands. No chance. "16 pitches here for Lucerno. We only threw 10 in the first inning. Foul at the plate. Pitch number 9 coming up. He had to go 8 pitches to get Preston Clifford swinging for a strikeout. Ryan Graybosch struck out on a 3-2 count. Then an error and a base hit. This one wrapped to third base, and Mendez just picks it up and trots over to the bag and records the out. That ends the inning here. Nothing across in the bottom of the second inning. There was 1 base hit recorded. That's the second on the game against Lucerno. And after 2 full innings of play, we still do not have a score. Yes, it's called Kino Sports Complex, but it's much more than just for sports. Director Maureen Ochoa and her great crew have successfully staged trade shows, corporate meetings, conferences, fundraising events, and private parties both in and around the Kino Stadium site. So, whether it's a sports activity or something else, give the Kino Sports Complex a call to find out how convenient and successful your event can be right here at the Kino Sports Complex. Trey Mesa coming into the inning with 32 pitches thrown over the 2 innings that he has worked. He has a couple of strikeouts, actually 4 to be more exact. Squaring around to bunt was the leadoff hitter in the top of the 3rd inning. This is Andre Green. Green batting .290 here in his stadium appearances. Has a strike on him, 0-1. Steps back out and comes set. All right, a little miscommunication between Trey Mesa, the pitcher, and the catcher. Mesa struck out the first 2 batters to see him in the first inning, and then struck out the 4th batter that he saw, and then struck out the last batter in the 2nd inning. So he's got 4 strikeouts already. versus 1 walk and 1 hit batter. No hits has he given up to this point. And, of course, as soon as I say that, Green's going to lace one. Well, not this time. 1 ball and 1 strike. B&L outfield playing their relatively shallow right field with Osuna in center and Sanders in left back a little bit, especially Sanders in left. 1-1 pitch. This one a high hopper towards third. It is picked up as a fair ball, and he throws it offline, Lopez does, but a fine job by Graybosch to tag the runner as he went by. So 5-3 is the out, but the real action was on the catching side of it, with the first baseman Ryan Graybosch having to come off the bag to his left and just whack the back of Green as he went by. First out of the top of the third. Jimmy Norris will be the hitter. This one bounded out to Bajorquez at shortstop, and he easily gets it over to first base for the second out of the inning, as the Cochise Stars and the B&L Rockets have chosen to only go with 9 hitters in this ball game. You may have as many as 10 because it is a quasi-instructional league, and when college coaches send their players this way, they want to see as many at-bats as possible. First pitch to the top of the order, Marcus Mendez catches the outside extended part of the plate, and it is a called strike. Marcus struck out looking in the first inning, waves at one even farther outside as we begin to see some color in the clouds here, so maybe we're having one of those fantastic Arizona sunsets to the west, which we can't see, but it's looking pretty nice towards the east here as we stand. 0-2, swung on way outside, and that will be the third out of the inning. So 3 up and 3 down here in the inning. Nothing across for the Stars in the top of the third, and after 2.5 innings of play, we still do not have a score. Cazal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. You got that? 1982. Got a long-standing reputation, does the Cazal Fire Protection Company, and they serve both home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Cazal has an extensive knowledge in fire protection and works hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Cazal Fire Protection Company, first in quality, serving with pride. We're to the top of the order here for the B&L Rockets as we begin the bottom of the third inning. First pitch swinging. Great play by Mendez. Backhands it and gets it over to first and put a star on that one. The ball was laced just between Mendez and the bag at third. Mendez backhanded the hot potato and got it over to first base, and that is the first out of the inning. Jorge Bajorquez, who got a walk and got around to third base on the base hit by Kiko Romero, will step in there next. Bajorquez, 372 is his stadium batting average, and he's in the hole 0-1. Bajorquez is scheduled to go to Sacramento State in the state capital of California. Inside corner for a called strike, and Jorge finds himself behind 0-2. Jorge just graduated from Nogales High School, so he has yet to be at Sacramento State, but he is enrolled and ready to go there. This one wrapped left side foul. So a sparkling play by Marcus Mendez gets things started here in the bottom of the third. In the dirt, nice stop by Valenzuela. Fourth pitch of the at-bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes, nobody on, bottom of the third, and nothing across for either team. Semifinal game in the Sun Belt Summer College League baseball playoffs. This one hit sharply out towards Gilbert Valenzuela at short. He throws just a taste high, but Dibble goes up and gets it. And a 6-3 out will be the second out of the inning, and that will bring up Kiko Romero. Romero is only one of 2 with a base hit so far through 3 innings here. With Romero in the first inning, got a base hit, but then a double play, and that ended the inning. The other base hit was turned in by Tyler Wiltshire with 2 outs and a man on in the second inning. Looks at the pitch outside for a ball. Acuna in right has swung over towards the foul line, and that leaves a fairly healthy gap in left center field as the center fielder Daniel Gonzalez has swung over as well. Pitch is called a strike. On the other hand, Sean Hahn in left field has moved over towards the left field line in case Romero slices one to the left side. On the knees for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2. Outside, Valenzuela gets out there and blocks it. Yes, there was nobody on, so you probably could have just left it go, but you don't want to create those bad habits. And so Robert Valenzuela out there to gather that thing up and keep it in front of him. 2-2 count as the lights begin to take over here at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium. This one down low, and the count will fill up 3-2. 3-2 to Graybosch last inning, got a swinging strike. 3-2 to Edwin Martinez, got a ground out. So 3-2 here, outside corner for a called strike looking. Romero, the catcher, would be very wise just to walk away, and he does exactly that because you do not want to show up the umpire in that particular situation. Well, we've completed 3 in the second semifinal game here for the Sun Belt League, and we still have nobody across. Hey, how does this sound? At O'Reilly Chevrolet, newer car, lower payments. O'Reilly Chevrolet has car financing experts who can do just that for you. What can you lose? Just call O'Reilly Chevrolet and see what they can do for you. Or, hey, here's a better idea. Stop by O'Reilly Chevrolet, 6160 East Broadway, and find out firsthand about the newer car, lower payments. O'Reilly Chevrolet, the good folks that know how to provide the best in sales and service. Well, we're through the first trimester. Don't get excited. All my kids are grown and gone. Outside corner to the first batter in the top of the fourth inning, Daniel Gonzalez. Gonzalez struck out looking in the first inning and brought in a .237 batting average to the stadium. This one hammered foul, left side. And Lupe Lucerno, 39 pitches through 3 innings. That's a pretty good clip. Had 21 in the first inning, but came back with 9, then 7. Has not given up a base hit, although he has walked a batter. And this one, as soon as I get it out of my mouth, an 0-2 count. You let the guy get the bat on the ball. Oh, well, base hit to center field. And that will bring up Robert Valenzuela. Robert has a .342 average coming in. That's not disturbed because he walked in the first inning. So we'll see how they play it here. Long look down at third base as the third base coach Brian Huey is wig-wagging signals out. The runner goes on a hit and run, and it is fouled off. The Stars were not the strongest of batting averages versus the batting average that is displayed by the B&L Rockets. So they kind of have to get people moving and take advantage of situations. They tried the hit and run there. Let's see what they go here. Catcher sets up on the outside corner, and this one is fouled back into the mezzanine at Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, and the count goes to 0-2. Really a fine facility here in Tucson, Arizona. Was the home of a AAA franchise for the San Diego Padres, but they didn't quite make it here, and they moved on to El Paso. Big swing and a miss. First strikeout, the first out of the inning. It is the 5th strikeout for Lucerno, and Sean Hahn will step in. He struck out swinging. He was the 3rd of the 5 strikeout victims. That happened back in the first inning. Moved to first and nothing going on. To the plate. Just misses outside for a ball. Hahn, 353 coming in. As I mentioned, struck out swinging. To the plate, big whiff on a high fastball and nothing home. Over near the line in right field is Wiltshire. Pitch way outside for a ball. 2 balls and a strike. Wiltshire swung over towards the line in right field, while Marco Osuna is straight away in center, so there's a big gap in right center. Two and one to the plate. Misses inside, will go 3-1. Third time that Mesa has been out to a 3 count, 3 balls, 3-2 strikeout, 3-1 walk. The runner goes, and it is a walk. Ball is off the plate, and we'll have runners at first and second with only 1 out. The hitter is Gilbert Valenzuela. He got hit as the leadoff batter in the second inning, but then was erased on an attempted bunt that was struck a little bit too hard, went right back to the pitcher, Mesa, who threw it to second base, grabbed by Bajorquez and thrown to first, and the double play erased the threat. Outside, called strike. Boy, when your batters are in the dugout, they need to watch and see where things are being called and how they're being called. The umpires in this league like that outside stretch. This one whacked, and just ducking underneath it was the coach at first base. 0-2, 1 out, couple of runners on. We're in the top of the fourth with nothing on the board to this point. On a relatively warm Tucson evening, although it's a little bit cooler than it has been. We've been starting games with the temperature at 102 and 104. Tonight it is a very comfortable 97. Well, maybe not. We got humidity that's up a little bit as we're experiencing the monsoon season. This one hit down to third. The play at second base is relayed on to first base, and the ball gets away, and that will give an opportunity for Daniel Gonzalez to come around from third. So it's going to be a fielder's choice for Gilbert Valenzuela. The out was recorded 5-3, or actually 5-4 at second base, and the ball was overthrown, and that allowed Gonzalez to come down and score the first run of the game for the Cochise Stars. That'll bring up Jesus Acuna. He hit into that double play in the second inning when he tried to bunt. So one comes across, and the runner at third will come home on the error, and the error would be a throwing error by the second baseman Martinez. 1 ball and 1 strike on Acuna. We have a couple of outs and 1 in and a runner on first. Just inside. 2-1. Big swing, and it'll even the count up at 2-2. Each side has committed an error, and in this particular case, the B&L Rockets error has cost them, while the Cochise Star error did not. Swung on and missed, and that will be a strikeout to end the inning. It is the second strikeout in the inning, and that will rack up 7 to this point by the pitcher Trey Mesa. 1 is across in the top of the fourth inning, and as we go through 3.5 innings of play, it is the Cochise Stars 1 and the B&L Rockets still to score. You know, the top Tucson driving school is Stop and Go Driving School. Learning to drive is not just something that you do to pass your test and get your license. You do it to make sure you're safe on the road. Hundreds of thousands of automobile accidents happen every year, many of them fatal. With the Stop and Go Driving School expert teachers, you'll be best placed to keep yourself safe. Certified driver's education courses are available at Stop and Go Driving School. Bottom of the fourth inning, first pitch swinging is Jesus Lopez, who grounded into a double play in the first inning. Stars are ahead 1-0 as the B&L Rockets try to get something going here in the bottom of the fourth. It'll be Lopez, Clifford, and Graybosch. Pitch misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. Rocks and fires 1-1. Down low for a ball, 2-1. This one lifted high to right, check that left center field. Drifting over is Daniel Gonzalez, and he grabs it for the out. First out of the inning here in the bottom of the fourth. And Preston Clifford will step in. Lucerno had to work like crazy to get him struck out in the second inning. 8 pitches before he finally got Clifford to swing at one. That was the first strikeout. Checked out the first strikeout in the second inning. 1 of 2. Down low, 1 ball. Four strikeouts to this point for Lucerno. Big swing by Clifford, doesn't get anything. 4 strikeouts and a walk. This one lifted high on the right side. In the infield, the pitcher goes after it. And you really would prefer not to have that happen, but the exuberance of youth, second out of the inning, that'll bring up Ryan Graybosch. He struck out swinging in the second inning. 49 pitches entering this inning. Six hitters in a row that Lucerno has gotten out. First pitch ball. Graybosch playing first base tonight. Seen him in the outfield, right field mostly, and behind the plate. But first base seems to be the most consistent position for him. This one fouled at the plate. I thought, no, I guess it rolled out. And they got the pitcher to come down and to make the unassisted out. So that will be the third out of the inning and the 7th batter in a row that has been retired for the BNL Rockets as they get through 4 innings with nothing on the board. And after 4 full, it is 1 for the Stars and nothing for the Rockets. Come see the difference at Goliath Auto Sales. They are the no-pressure used car dealership at 5170 North La Cholla Boulevard in Tucson. Now, one of their former customers, John, was nice enough to send a letter in, and in that letter he said that it was the most painless deal that he had ever had buying a car, and that he would highly recommend Goliath Auto Sales. For value price affordable vehicles, make sure that you check out Goliath Auto Sales. Well, I kind of smile at the drag that they bring out in between innings here about halfway through the game. There's still a big swath right in the middle of the infield that is undragged. So I'm not exactly sure how much value that is, but they're out there doing their best. And we'll look in the top of the 5th inning to the Cochise Stars with a 1-run lead, bringing up Jonathan Debo. Andre Green, first pitch to Debo, is a called strike. He struck out swinging in the second inning. The third scheduled hitter in this inning is Jimmy Norris. To the plate, Trey Mesa, swinging pitch, 0-2. Mesa on the evening, 7 strikeouts, a walk, and a hit batter. And he has given away just 1 run here. That run came on a base hit in the top of the 4th inning. That was followed by a strikeout and then a walk. An infield fielder's choice on an attempted around-the-horn double play got the out at second, but the throw was wide to first base, and that allowed Daniel Gonzalez, who was heading to third, an opportunity to come home. So that's how we've got the 1 run here in the ball game through 4 full innings of play. 0-2 pitch, high and inside, and we will go 2-2. I missed the 3rd pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jonathan playing in place of Sergio Santa Cruz, who dislocated his right shoulder on a spectacularly done play in the game on Monday evening. Felt bad for the young man because he was having a relatively decent season. He is scheduled to return to Vernon Community College in Vernon, Texas, and hopefully he will be completely repaired at that time. Well, an 0-2 count suddenly became a 4-ball walk, and the leadoff batter in the top of the 5th inning is on at first base. These 2 clubs have won 2 each in the 4-game series, and that brings up Andre Green. Green grounded out to Lopez at third base in the 3rd inning. And previous to this, the Stars have run a hit and run and a attempted bunt. First pitch swinging at a pitch on the outside corner, trying to pull it. That will never work. And it's a strike. You need to discipline yourself to hit it to right field. Speaking of right field, Tyler Wiltshire is over towards the line. Playing straight away in center is Osuna, so that leaves a big gap in right center field. Green coming into the stadium with a .290 batting average. Runner doesn't go. Second pitch swinging a little bit late, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. A leadoff runner on first by way of the walk. The second walk given up in the ball game by Trey Mesa. This one fouled to the left side. 0-2 remains the count. The on-deck hitter is Jimmy Norris. Norris, the designated hitter. Lucerno had a couple of at-bats on Monday, and I can see why Norris is the designated hitter. Outside swinging strike. First out of the top of the 5th inning. 8th strikeout for Trey Mesa. Even though he is behind 1-0, he's putting on a nice show from the mound. 8 strikeouts to this point, and we're only to the top of the 5th inning. Jimmy Norris stepping in. Stadium batting average is 167. Jimmy bides his time between the mound and first base. Down low for a ball. Norris goes with several other players to Luna Community College. That is in Las Vegas, New Mexico. Doesn't get that one. 1 ball and 1 strike. Still a pretty decent gap in right center field. I would imagine if he could get a sharp shot over the second baseman's head, Martinez, that one might roll all the way to the wall. To the plate, down low for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Mesa had a pretty efficient inning, even though he gave up a run last inning with 19 pitches, but that was far above his 9 and 7 pitches the previous 2. Undercuts that one and misses it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Norris in the 3rd inning grounded out to the shortstop Bajorquez. Up there with a 2-2 count, 1 out and 1 on. Almost hit him in the noggin there. Fill it up at 3-2. And we'll see if the Cochise Stars have something going here. 3-2, only one out, nothing happening. Late swing and a swinging strikeout. That's 9 on the game so far, and we're only through 5 innings. We'll go to the top of the order, Marcus Mendez. Mendez has been a strikeout victim twice of the 9 so far. To the plate, outside corner for a called strike. Mendez into the ball game with a .255 stadium batting average. Fouls one off the end of the bat and back into the screen, and Mesa on the mound is up 0-2, have recorded 2 strikeouts in a row after walking the leadoff hitter. Misses outside. Not exactly sure who said what, but that is not going to endear yourself to home plate umpire David Trinidad. Normally during the regular season we only have 2 umpires, but now in the playoffs the league is going with 4. One ball and 2 strikes at the set and to the plate. Foul right side, pretty sharply hit, but was late on the swing once again. We don't have a gun. That would be a radar gun. Don't get smart now. Would be nice if we could work that out. Maybe we'll save our nickels and get one next year. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Leadoff batter in the order is the 4th batter in this inning with 2 outs and a runner on. Again, a late swing and lifts it into the mezzanine. Lots of times when that ball goes into the mezzanine or comes off the aluminum shades that are around the upper part of the stadium here, it bounces back into the audience, and it's coming at him from the backside. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 6th pitch of the at-bat. Swung on, it gets away from the catcher Romero, but he throws it down to first base to get the out. It will be recorded as a strikeout, and the 3rd out of this, the top of the 5th inning. Nothing across for the Stars, and they have won on the ball game. That was the 10th strikeout for Trey Mesa. As we finish 4.5 innings of play, it is the Cochise Stars 1 and the BNL Rockets nothing. Rincon Financial Group is a Tucson organization that understands that individuals face unique challenges as they prepare for retirement. The Rincon Group is standing by to take the mystery out of preparing for today or tomorrow. What goal do you have? Retirement preparation, college savings, estate strategy? Well, the personalized services of Rincon Financial Group is ready to help you focus on your needs, wants, and financial desires. Two spots, 7, 8, and 9 in the order. First pitch swinging down the right field line, getting over there to take a look at it and grabbing it is Acuna, about 2 steps from the foul line, and another 2 steps would have wrapped himself right around the stands down there. So Marco Osuna flies out to Acuna in right field for the first out of the bottom of the 5th inning. Nice play by Acuna, got a long way and was not distracted by the fact that the warning track and the stands were coming up on him pretty hard. Tyler Wiltshire, who has one of the 2 hits surrendered by Lucerno tonight, came in batting .231, hits one foul down the left side, and that count will even at 1-1. Wiltshire will be followed by the second baseman, Edwin Martinez. Martinez worked 9 pitches out of Lucerno back in the second inning and ultimately hit one on the ground that resulted in an infield out. Everybody pretty much straight away, although Acuna is a little bit deep in right field. Pitch way outside and gets away from the catcher, Valenzuela. No advance, obviously, because nobody's out there unless you're working on Harvey the Mythical Rabbit or Casper the Friendly Ghost. Outside swinging and will even the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Bottom of the 5th inning with B&L trailing 1-0. Couple of fine pitching performances out of Lupe Lucerno and Trey Mesa. Mesa with 10 strikeouts through his 5 innings of work. Lucerno not quite as productive in the strikeout region and has only given up 2 hits. Ouch. Got him on the hand. That may break a finger. I'm not sure. Don't want to jump to conclusions, but Lucerno comes up and gives Wiltshire a little bit of a tap saying, hey, pal, I really didn't mean that at all. Sabino High School graduate goes to first base, and one of the several young men who come out of southern Arizona and are playing their collegiate ball in cold weather states. There are 3 on this team from Minot State in Minot, North Dakota, moved to first and doesn't get him. Edwin Martinez is the hitter, came into the stadium batting .350 and taking a check on Wiltshire to see if he is rattling around that hand, and he is not, so hopefully nothing more than just getting hit. A half swing, left side foul. Cochise Stars have run a couple of plays, a couple of hit and runs and a bunt. But so far we haven't seen anything along that line out of the B&L Rockets, possibly saving that kind of activity for their arsenal a little bit later in the game. We're in the bottom of the 5th. B&L trails, however, 1-0. Relatively decent Wiltshire lead at first base and a move over there by Lucerno. And Wiltshire is back in. To the plate outside. Nice job by Valenzuela. Keeps the ball in front of him. One ball and 1 strike. Another move to first. Pretty snappy move. Gets the ball over there with a certain amount of velocity. Back again. Needs to kind of pay attention to what's going on with the hitter here. He has 1 out. And if he throws a ball down in the strike zone, possibly get Martinez to hit into a double play. This one, a high hopper to third. Mendez to second, back to first, and what did I just say? A 5-4-3 double play, and that is the second time in the game that Lucerno has gotten out of a little bit of a tough spot. That happened before with runners on first and second in the first inning, a 4-6-3 double play in that particular instance. In this particular instance, it was around the horn, 5-4-3. Well, all of that aside, nothing across for the B&L Rockets in the bottom of the 5th inning, and we are through 5 full innings of play, and the count is Stars 1, B&L Rockets nothing. Your Jimmy John's restaurant locations in and around the Tucson area know how much you care about freshness. That's why they spend hours in preparation every day just to make your sandwich in just 30 seconds. You get the freshest breads, all natural meats, and hand-sliced veggies every time. Stop by the store, or if it's more convenient, order online at jimmyjohns.com. Going out into right field defensively is Mario Corrales, as that was the position that Wiltshire was in, and he got hit on the hand in the bottom of the 5th inning. So apparently they're not going to have him stay out there. Second pitch to Daniel Gonzalez, who is the first hitter here in the top of the 6th inning, is fouled back, and the count goes to 1-1. Daniel struck out looking in the 1st inning, got a base hit and scored the only run of the game in the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Robert Valenzuela and Sean Hahn. Ball is way inside. Ducking under it is Daniel Gonzalez, but I tell you what, Daniel, you need to bring that bat down, because if you leave it up there, the ball can hit it. Of course, lots of times players are only worried about their head being hit. This one slapped high, left center field. Drifting over to get it is Sanders, and he gets it about 2 steps in front of the warning track out there, and a leadoff fly out, although fairly well hit, to left field, and that will bring up Robert Valenzuela. Valenzuela walked in the 1st inning and struck out swinging in the 4th. So we will record Mario Corrales out in right field. Outside for a ball. Robert Valenzuela, the catcher, he, his brother, and a couple of other players go to Friends University in Wichita, Kansas. High, foul side, and off the glove of Graybosch. Now, whether they count that an error will revolve around what happens after this. If this runner gets on and ultimately comes around to score, it might be said that they are going to call it an error, but that is up to the official scorer. Each side has committed one error, and the error in the 4th inning by B&L cost him a run. Down low for a ball, 2 balls and 1 strike. In the 4th, a base hit by Daniel Gonzalez, then a strikeout and a walk, and Graybosch will come into the dugout, brings his glasses in. Right side of the infield does need those shades in the early going, but we're in the top of the 6th inning, so not a problem right now. Apparently he still had them on him, and when he went after that pop fly, they came out of his pocket. 2 balls and a strike, nobody on, 1 out. This one hit sharply out past the second baseman diving Martinez, and that will be a base hit. That is only the 2nd base hit allowed by Trey Mesa through his now 5 1/3 innings of pitching. He has 10 strikeouts, a walk, a hit batter, 1 run allowed. but only one base hit. This one is the second. Sean Hahn walked in the fourth inning. Bunt sharply, look at second, but goes to first. Just barely gets him at first base, but that sacrifices the runner to second. Runner in scoring position, but with 2 outs, and Gilbert Valenzuela came into the ballgame batting .289 in the stadium, was hit by a pitch in the second inning, and was on as part of a fielder's choice in the fourth inning. Swung on, fouled at the plate, 0-1. Mesa has allowed only 2 runners to get as far as second base, but on the infield error, Gonzalez was able to score from second base. Valenzuela out at second, and Hahn sacrificed him there, and Valenzuela Gilbert at the plate gets hit in the wallet. So the second batter that Mesa has hit, and in both cases, it was Gilbert Valenzuela. Have something against shortstops? Jesus Acuna, right fielder, hit into that double play in the second inning. And we're going to have a little conference at the mound as Acuna waits to see what happens. No changes, so Acuna will step in. The right fielder tonight, 0 for 2. This one bounded towards the third baseman. Lopez up with it and over to first base, and they record the 5-3 out, and that gets them out of the inning. So nothing across in the top of the sixth inning. And after 5.5 innings of play, it is the Cochise Stars 1 and the BNL Rockets nothing. The Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites features spacious guest rooms and 2-room suites with an upscale contemporary decor. Guest room amenities include complimentary internet, refrigerator, coffee maker, and in-room safe. Watch premium cable channels on a 42-inch flat-screen TV. Many rooms have patio doors opening out into a tranquil courtyard. A best place to stay. Best Western Tucson International Airport Hotel and Suites. Logan Sanders will lead it off here. He is the leadoff batter in the lineup and in this particular inning. He'll be followed by Jorge Bajorquez and Kiko Romero. They have a walk and a hit amongst them. And out to throw for his 6th inning of work is Lupe Lucerno. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit batter. This one is swung on and fouled back, and the count goes to 1-1. Lucerno has only given up 2 hits, had a runner on third base in the 1st inning, and outside of that, nobody has gotten past first. Swing, miss, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Lucerno to the plate, just misses outside and gets a ooh from the Stars dugout. This one hit sharply, left center field and high. It's going to make it and bounces off the wall. It's mishandled out there, and Sanders will head to third, diving first in, and that will be a triple. Left center field, it hit the warning track, bounced up against the wall at the 390 mark, and stayed in the park. And when it came off the wall, Gonzalez and Hahn did not grab it immediately, and that gave Sanders an opportunity to stretch it into a triple. He had a career night on Monday, 4 for 5 and 5 RBIs, as first and third creep into the grass. Mendez on third and Diebel on first. The middle infielders are halfway back, kind of in double play depth, and the first pitch by Lucerno is inside for a ball. So I just got finished saying that with the exception of what happened in the 1st inning, nobody has gotten past second base. And all of a sudden there is a runner on third with nobody out, the leadoff hitter in the bottom of the 6th inning, with an opportunity for the B&L Rockets to tie it up here. 2-0. This one hit sharply between third and shortstop, and that will tie it up. So an RBI single turned in by Bajorquez. And we are tied up here in the bottom of the 6th inning, but nobody is out, and they have sent some action down to the Cochise Stars bullpen. And we're going to have a moment to discuss what's going on here and give the pitcher an opportunity to warm up out in the bullpen a little bit if a change is required. Conference is over, and a move to first base, nothing happening there. Adrian Aguilera is warming up. He is a recent high school graduate from Buena High School in the greater Cerro Vista area. Attempted a bunt, goes up in the air, and Mendez grabs it. So tried to drag one, did Kiki Romero, and got his bat underneath it. And it is a pop out for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning, all tied up at 1-1. Runner on first base, and Jesus Lopez steps in. Lopez ended a threat in the 1st inning by hitting into a double play. The move to first, and they got him over there as Bajorquez still does not believe that he got picked off, but he, in fact, according to the first base umpire, Charlie Lujan, did get picked off. So nobody on the bases now and 2 outs. And Jesus Lopez, the right fielder, check that, the third baseman, who is 0 for 2 tonight, will stand in now. Instead of 1 out and a runner on, 2 outs and nobody on. The pitch is down low. Lucero rocks, comes to the plate. High center field, but drifting over to get it is Gonzalez, and Daniel puts it in his hip pocket, so to speak, and the inning is over. So a very promising inning for the B&L Rockets. Relaxes into 1 run coming across, but that is enough to tie this up. So after 6 full innings of play, the B&L Rockets are on the board, and we are all tied at 1-1. Firestone Complete Auto Care is your go-to tire store or shop, whichever, in the greater Tucson area. Find the right tires online or in the store, whichever you prefer. They have 5 locations. Pick the one closest to you. 7950 East Speedway, 4800 block of East Sunrise, 290 West Wetmore Road, 3501 East Broadway, and the 2400 block of North First. Doesn't matter where you go for Firestone Complete Auto Care, you will not be disappointed. Firestone Auto Care stores. Well, the pitcher for the B&L Rockets will sit down after 6 full innings of pitching. Did an outstanding job, had 91 pitches thrown, and with those 91 pitches, he got 10 strikeouts, had a couple of walks and hit a couple of batters, but he only gave up 1 run, and that was an unearned run as well, and 2 hits during that period of time. Taking over on the mound will be Tyson Coleman, and he will face the bottom of the order, 7, 8, and 9. This is Jonathan Diebel, the first baseman. First pitch to him is a called strike. Second one up a little high and will go 1-1. Diebel got a walk in the 5th inning and struck out swinging in the 2nd. He'll be followed by Andre Green and Jimmy Norris. And with besides the walk that Diebel got the last time up, no base hits in that group. Swinging strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We are in the top of the 7th inning, all tied up. We've seen a couple of great pitching performances the last 2 nights. This one fouled away, and the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. Last night, an outstanding performance that was displayed there by Angel Castillo, and that is a looking 3rd strike, first out of the top of the 7th inning. Castillo last night, to get the Aztecs into the championship game tomorrow evening, went 9 innings, shutout, gave up 5 hits, struck out 9, and only walked 1. And then tonight on both sides, Trey Mesa with 6 innings and 10 strikeouts, and Lupe Lucerno is going through 6 innings. Whether he comes out the next inning or not will have to be seen. Pitch is outside corner for a called strike to Andre Green. Green grounded out to Jesus Lopez in the third inning and struck out swinging in the fifth. That one was against Trey Mesa, one of his 10 strikeouts. Fouled off to the right side, and Green finds himself behind 0-2. Jimmy Norris is the on-deck hitter. Really? Two are warming up in the Cochise bullpen right now. We've got a left-hander and a right-hander. This one is sharply socked into right center field for a base hit. And that will bring up Jimmy Norris, one out and a runner on first. Norris grounded out to Bajorquez in the third inning and struck out swinging in the fifth in an inning that Trey Mesa struck out the side after he gave a walk to the first batter up. Norris, the designated hitter. Around like he's going to bunt. Reaches out on a ball that's off the plate. You got to bunt the strikes. Sorry to sound like a nag, but boy, oh boy, that's a little pet peeve here in the broadcast booth. Got to bunt the strikes. 0-1, runner on first, trying to get him over to second with a sacrifice. That'll get to the top of the order to Mendez. Move to first and nothing going on there. Tyson Coleman on the mound just taking over here in the top of the seventh inning. A strikeout and a hit. This one sliced off to the right side. 0-2 to Norris. Runner on first, one out. Long time looking in for Coleman, and the batter Norris said, enough of that. Stepped out with a timeout call. 0-2. Conservative lead by Green at first base. No movement, fouled off to the right side again. Count will remain 0-2. Outfielders pretty much straight away and back just a bit. Keep an eye on the runner at first. Has to get dived back. We'll set 0-2 again. Nothing in the action here. Ball down low. Going to check first base umpire to see if there was a swing there, and Charlie Lujan says no. So in the dirt ball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. As I mentioned, activity out in the Cochise bullpen in right field. Haven't been able to pick up numbers as yet. 1-2, swung on, gets away from the catcher, but since there was somebody on first base, you cannot run, so it is a swinging strikeout. But because the ball got away from Romero, the runner Green goes down to second base, so 2 outs, a runner in scoring position, and we'll go to the top of the order. This is Marcus Mendez. Mendez has had a rough evening. Struck out swinging twice and struck out looking once. This one hit sharply out towards Bajorquez at shortstop. He gets it over to first, and that will end the inning and give B&L Rockets an opportunity to try to score a run in the second inning in a row. After 6.5 innings of play, we have a tie at 1 each on each side. When you want really good Tex-Mex cuisine, go to Chewy's Mesquite Broiler at East 22nd and Kalb. Chewy's knows what Southwestern tastes are all about, and they're there to satisfy. Chewy's on 22nd Street is open until 10 weeknights and Sundays, till 11 on Fridays and midnight on Saturdays. Enjoy the food, decor, and drinks at Chewy's at East 22nd Street and Kalb. Five, six, and seven spot in the order will get to work here in the bottom of the seventh inning. It'll be Preston Clifford, who is first pitch swinging and sends Sanders deep into, that is going to be Sean Hahn up against the warning track in left field. So a first pitch swing out for the first out of the bottom of the seventh inning. That will bring up Ryan Graybosch and then Marco Osuna. We will look and see who comes up in the fourth scheduled spot in this inning. Tyler Wiltshire took one off the hand when he got hit by a pitch in the fifth inning. And they have Mario Corrales out in right field. This one, Graybosch would prefer to have had that swing back. Outside pitch, but he swung and missed. And the count will be 0-1. Down low for a ball, 1-1. Lucerno still on the mound. He's had 77 pitches through 6 innings, given up 1 run on 4 hits. 2 of those hits came in the last inning, a triple and an RBI single to tie this thing up at 1-1. Fouled right at the plate. And the way Graybosch is kind of moving around, I wouldn't be surprised if that didn't come off a body part. Lucerno has given up the 4 hits, as I mentioned, 4 strikeouts, a walk, and a hit batter. That hit batter in the 5th inning did not result in anything negative as far as the B&L Rockets were concerned. Outside called strike in that extended strike zone, and these umpires enjoy that outside strike call. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and we'll go to Marco Osuna. Osuna got on the only error committed by the Cochise Stars. That was in the 2nd inning, but nothing resulted from it. And then he flew out to right field in the 5th. Lucero, a ball. In the dirt, 2 balls in a row. Lupe Lucero through 7 innings here, doing a fine job. The young man just recently graduated from Pueblo High School, has not picked a college to pitch for, but I would imagine after this particular performance and the one earlier that there, if a college scout happens to be bubbling around the Tucson Sunbelt College Baseball League, a little discussion with Robert Valenzuela from the umpire. Not sure whether Robert made the cardinal sin of saying something to the umpire, but David Trinidad had kind of a nose-to-nose calm discussion with him. And this one at the knees, on the corner, inside, 3-1. All the outfielders are pretty much squared away. The infielders at the same position they'd be at with nobody on. This is a bounding ball out to Green at second, and he can't handle it. So the second error committed now by the Cochise Stars. This one with 2 outs. And now that puts a runner on first base and brings up Wiltshire's spot. But Mario Corrales will come in there. Wiltshire went out into the field to be in the top of the 6th inning, but they switched out right then. Tyler got hit on the hand. That was in the 5th inning, so they decided not to press it. And the first pitch to Mario Corrales, now in right field, is a ball. To the plate, inside for a ball, as Lucerno has kind of lost his concentration here after getting 2 outs, then went 3-0, 3-1, and an error on a hit. And now he is 2-0, and Robert Valenzuela will go out and say what? Corrales, a recent graduate from Amphi High School, just got his tax deduction just before the end of the year 2000, was born on December 30th. Had a brother that was born on December 31st, and my mother was under dire threats from my father about get that baby out so I can have the deduction. I'm making a bigger deal out of it than it actually was. 2-0, runner on first, 2 outs. We are in the bottom of the 7th inning, all tied up at 1. Corner, called strike, 2 balls and a strike. Checking that infield for you for the Cochise Stars. Mendez is at third, Valenzuela. That would be Gilbert at short, Green at second, and Dibble at first. High pitch swung on and missed. Played at first base, also a little late. And 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. This is the first at-bat for Mario. 167 batting average coming into the stadium tonight. This one hit to the right side. Dibble grabs it and makes the unassisted out at first base, and that will be the last out of this, the bottom of the 7th inning. Nothing across for the BNL Rockets, and after 7 full innings of play, we're all tied up still at 1-1. Elite Sporting Goods is a store specializing in equipment and uniforms for all sports. They also do company and school type of printing of various kinds, including silk screening, embroidery, heat press custom printing, banners, and more. Elite Sporting Goods is over there on South Campbell at 3640. Stop by, call, or find them on the web. Elite Sporting Goods. Top of the 8th inning, still knotted up at 1-1. On the mound, Tyson Coleman. He took over in the 7th inning, and he will face Daniel Gonzalez, the number 2 hitter, Robert Valenzuela 3, and Sean Hahn 4. So an opportunity for Cochise to get underway here. First pitch swinging and missing. Gonzalez with a base hit and scored the only run for the Cochise Stars. That was in the 4th inning. Struck out looking in the 1st and flew out to left field. That was in the 6th. Pitch inside corner for a called strike. And by body language, we can pretty well tell that Daniel does not and did not agree. Coleman rocks and fires. Outside. 1-2. Keeping a close eye on the bullpen for the Stars because their starting pitcher, Lucero, has thrown 92 pitches. So they may bring in a relief pitcher here to finish out 8 and 9. Big swing and a miss. And that is a strikeout. It is the 3rd strikeout recorded here by Tyson Coleman in just 2 innings of work. He has given up 1 base hit, and the sum total for the Cochise Stars tonight in the hit department is 3. They did not get 1 hit until the 4th inning. They did score in that inning, off of that base hit, as a matter of fact, and that will bring up Robert Valenzuela. He is a free swinger and goes after the first one and misses it 0-1. Outfield pretty much straight away, in the infield exactly where you'd expect to find them with nobody on and 1 out. In the dirt, nicely grabbed by Romero, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hahn is the on-deck hitter. He sacrificed a runner to second base in the 6th inning. Gilbert got hit by a ball, but Okuna grounded out to 3rd, and that ended the threat. Outside for a ball. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bounded out towards second base, diving Martinez, and gets it to first, gets him out. And it looks like Martinez may be down. Not sure whether he rolled up on a wrist or what happened, but he dove for that ball, did come up with it, and somehow or other got it over to first base. Not sure whether he has injured something or has been injured. It looks to me like he may have landed on his right wrist, and they are out there to take a look at him. And it may have been that he hit the ground completely wrong and might have knocked a little air out of him, although he's wig-wagging that right wrist around, so he may have come down on that one. But without regard to that, it was an outstanding play by the second baseman for the B&L Rockets and creates the second out of the top of the 8th inning. Let's see if he's going to hang out there. The trainer wandering out to see if he can add anything or subtract anything from what's going on here. The first baseman, Graybosch, indicates that when Martinez went down, he rolled up on his wrist, and it looks like they will have a replacement coming out for him. Well, that is Logan Sanders going out there, so this must be a courtesy replacement, which is allowed in this league. So Sanders, who is in left field tonight, will go out to second base, and let's see who they put out in left field. Okay, so Logan Sanders moves into second base, and it may be that Martinez went out to left field. First pitch to the batter, Sean Hahn, is a called strike. Well, on our little layout here from the official score, it looks like Edwin Martinez went out to left field. pitch is down low for a ball, and the count will even at 1-1. So Edwin going out to left field. And the left fielder Sanders comes in to play second base. 1-1 count. Inside corner for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning, and we are tied at 1-1. On deck hitter is Gilbert Valenzuela, who has been hit by a pitch twice, late swing and a strikeout. So the 3rd out of the inning, 3 up and 3 down. That is the 4th strikeout turned in by Coleman in just 2 innings of work. At the top of the 8th inning, nothing across, and after 7.5, we're still knotted at 1-1. I know this place is called the Kino Sports Complex, but you know it's much more than just sports. Director Maureen Ochoa and her great crew has successfully staged trade shows, corporate meetings, conferences, fundraising events, and private parties both in and around Kino Stadium. So whether it's a sports activity or something else, give the Kino Sports Complex a call and find out how convenient and successful your event can be right here at the Kino Sports Complex. Got a new pitcher on the mound, as the starting pitcher Lupe Lucerno had thrown 92 pitches through 7 innings. And so we will start off the 8th inning with the B&L Rockets. Edwin Martinez is the batter, so apparently that wrist cannot be in that bad a shape. And on the mound is Adrian Aguilera. Adrian, another one of those recent high school graduates. He graduated from Buena Vista High School out in Serra Mesa. But he is behind by 2, and he gives up a base hit. So a leadoff runner on here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Did I say 5? I meant to say 8. I'm looking. They have so many lights out on the scoreboard. I glanced up there and picked it up from there, but we shan't do that again. So Aguilera takes over for Lucerno, but he gives up a base hit. That is only the 5th base hit recorded by B&L Rockets tonight. And we go to the top of the order. Sanders looks at one on the outside corner for a called strike. Logan got a triple and came around to score in the 6th inning to tie things up after they had been held scoreless through the 6 innings. Before that, he struck out, and before that, he was robbed on a great play by Marcus Mendez at third. Way outside, Valenzuela had a thought about going to first base, but Martinez was not that far off, and the count evens at 1-1. One ball, one strike, one on, nobody out. Changeup just popped to the right side and foul. Still activity in the Stars bullpen. Nothing going on out in the left field bullpen for the B&L Rockets. Bojorquez is the on-deck hitter, and he is to be followed by Kiko Romero if they get that far. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Way outside, the ball gets away, and that'll send the runner down to second base, as Valenzuela did not have a prayer on getting that ball that far outside. So a wild pitch will send the runner over to scoring position, and in a 1-run ball game, this is not particularly good. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner in scoring position. Let's see if they try to move him to third. Infield at half depth right now. Swung on and missed, and boy, that was a much-needed strikeout for Aguilera. First out of the inning. And that will bring up Bojorquez with a runner on second base. Bojorquez on the evening got a walk in the first inning, grounded out to Gilbert Valenzuela at shortstop in the third, and got an RBI single in the 6th inning, the only run that has been across the plate for the Stars tonight, or excuse me, for the Rockets tonight. As we have a little conference on the mound to figure out what we're going to do with the runner at second base. The outfielders, especially center fielder Daniel Gonzalez and left fielder Sean Hahn, have moved in quite a few steps. Gonzalez is to the left of center field, so that leaves a pretty good-sized gap in right center, and the Cochise Stars are not going to take a chance on Bojorquez as they give him an intentional walk. And don't get me started on that. I know they think that it speeds up the game a little bit, and maybe it does, but boy, you want to have that pitcher throwing balls and then losing track of a release point for an opportunity to have things move around. Kiko Romero is the hitter. He got a base hit in the first inning, struck out looking in the third, and popped out to the third baseman Mendez in the 6th. First pitch to him is a ball. Way inside, Valenzuela gets his glove over there and grabs it. 2-0. This is the second time that the relief pitcher Aguilera has been 2-0 on a hitter. This one hit right back through the middle, and that will probably score a run from second base. Gonzalez is up with it. The strong throw to home, and they hold the runner up at third. Great job by Daniel Gonzalez. He was playing rather shallow in center field, and when that ball was hit on the ground out in that direction, he got a good jump on it and was able to throw it home and get them to hold the runner at third base. So we have them loaded up here. Bojorquez is at second. Over at third base is Martinez. Base is loaded, and that has Jesus Lopez up there. Lopez has flown out, actually kind of soft fly ball to center field twice. This one lifted high and maybe deep enough, not sure. Gonzalez with the catch and the strong throw home. The runner comes halfway, and now they almost had him picked off at third. But a nice job by Daniel Gonzalez. He was shallow enough, the ball was high enough that he got the ball and gunned it through the cutoff man, which was a very wise job. Second out of the inning, and that will allow the infield to go back. First and third had been on the grass, and Preston Clifford will come up. Clifford is 0 for 3 tonight. First pitch to Clifford outside for a ball. So Aguilera is having a little trouble getting that first pitch strike in. Preston Clifford batting .483 in his appearances in the stadium, but he is 0 for 3 tonight. Hit hard, left side, down into the corner. That'll score at least 2, and they're going to send the runner from first base on the way home, and a 3-run RBI double for Preston Clifford. Well, that would not have happened that way if it had been less than 2 outs, but with 2 outs, everybody can get off and running with the stroke of the bat, and that brings 3 across, and all of a sudden it is the BNL Rockets 4 and the Stars, who nursed a 1-run lead through 6 innings, now find themselves behind by a 4-1 count with only 1 more at bat left to go, and we'll have a pitching change. Sherrick Sanborn will come in and try to stop the bleeding here in the bottom of the 8th inning. A 3 RBI double turned in by Preston Clifford. Clifford just committed to Washington State University. He had been set to go to New Mexico State, but the coach over there got a job at Washington State, and Clifford will follow him there. The new pitcher, as I mentioned, Sherrick Sanborn, and the first batter he will face will be Ryan Graybosch. First pitch is outside for a ball. Graybosch struck out looking in the 7th inning, out unassisted at first base by the pitcher on a ground out. And that happened in the 4th inning. Graybosch struck out swinging in the 2nd. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Sanborn from Cochise Community College, which has got to be a little bit uncomfortable. That's in Douglas, Arizona. There are 3 players on the Rockets team that play at Cochise. So I imagine there'll be a little bit of barking back and forth when they show up to start play at Cochise Community College. 1 ball and 2 strikes. We have 2 outs, first base open, and a runner on second. To the plate, foul left side, just almost got into the dugout of the BNL Rockets on the third base side, but skipped over the top of the dugout and into the stands. Count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes. So broken open here in the 8th inning, and that will put a rather significant mountain for the Stars to climb in the top of the 9th. We're in the bottom of the 8th, and BNL Rockets getting in 3 runs. Second baseman tried to dive at first base. Debo came way off the bag to try to get the ball that was slowly hit to the right side. Adrian Green came up with it, But unfortunately for him, Diebel was too far off the bag, and Green tried to dive and touch the bag with his glove, but was beaten out on the race for first base by Graybosch. Ryan, a pretty big fellow, but we've seen him show some wheels on occasion, and he certainly displayed them right there. So a base hit, and the batter will be Marco Osuna, the center fielder for the B&L Rockets. Looks at the first pitch of ball. He is the 8th batter to come up in this inning. This one rifle right side foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. This is the semifinal to see who will meet the Aztecs tomorrow evening in the championship final in our playoffs. If it happens to be the Rockets, the Aztecs have a 3-1 lead over them. However, in the last game of the 4-game set in the regular season, it was the Rockets 13-9. This one hit short hop and gets away from Adrian Green, and that'll score another one. Nice effort by Green, but I'm sure that they're going to rack up an error on that one. That will send Graybosch over to second base and score another run here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And it's going to be tougher and tougher for the Stars to come back, although we've seen a 5-run 9th inning before here in the stadium. So we'll have to play it out and see what happens. First pitch to Mario Corrales. Strike. He is the 9th hitter to come up in this inning. Runners on first and second. Outside corner for a called strike, and Mario finds himself behind 0-2. Sherrick Sanborn came in with 2 outs here in the 8th inning, has given up a hit and an error behind him. The run, of course, is accredited to Aguilera, and the pitch is a ball. Aguilera came in as a pitcher at the start of the inning in relief of Lupe Lucerno, who had a fine 92 pitch performance, and they get the strikeout, but they have let across 4 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And we go to the top of the 9th. The score is the B&L Rockets 5 and the Cochise Stars 1. Casal has been a leader in all aspects of fire protection since 1982. Casal Fire Protection Company services both home and business locations by providing design, planning, and management of your fire protection needs. Casal has an extensive knowledge of fire protection, and they work hard to keep their fine reputation. Look online to find Casal Fire Protection Company, first in quality, serving with pride. All the marbles on the line here, top of the ninth inning with B&L ahead 5-1. And the pitcher, Tyson Coleman, coming out for his third inning of work. He's already got 4 strikeouts. First pitch to the leadoff batter in the inning, Gilbert Valenzuela, misses inside. Now Gilbert has been plunked twice tonight and got on a fielder's choice. So he is 0 for 1, came into the stadium batting .289. This one, did he get him? Well, apparently not. I think possibly the ball hit the bat just right above his hands there. Wiltshire, who was the starting right fielder for the B&L Rockets, got one actually on the hand, swinging strike down low, and he had to leave the game. So when you get hit by a ball with your hand on the bat, that results in many cases in a major league owie. 1 and 2, swung on and fouled off. Inside corner was where it was headed. 5th pitch of the at-bat coming up with a 1-2 count. The on-deck hitter is Acuna, who is 0 for 3, and Jonathan Dibble, who is 0 for 2. At the set is Coleman. To the plate, swung on in the dirt. Gets away from the catcher Romero, but he gets outside and throws the ball to first base. This is the second strikeout in a row for Coleman to the leadoff batter in the 9th inning. It is Coleman's 5th strikeout in just 3 innings of work. He got 2 strikeouts in the 7th, 2 strikeouts in the 8th, and 1 here in the 9th. That will bring up Acuna, hit into a double play in the 2nd inning, struck out swinging in the 4th, and grounded out to the third baseman, and he promptly deposits one into left field, and there will be a 1-out runner. That'll bring up Jonathan Dibble's spot, and we'll see if we hit for him or what the deal is going to be here. Coming up is number 5, and that is Martin Castillas. So a pinch hitter up here. Castillas is one of the 4 players on this team, including the 2 Valenzuela brothers, who play for Friends University in Wichita, Kansas. Ball gets away, and the runner goes down to second base on the wild pitch. Runner in scoring position. They need base runners and base hits to get things rocking and rolling here. Do the Cochise Stars, trying to get into that final game, but are coming up short right at the moment anyway. Castillas up there with a 1-ball count on him. Look back at second and to the plate. Off-speed pitch catches the letters for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Castillas into the big stadium here, batting .160, 4 for 25. First base is obviously open. Strikeout and a base hit, and a wild pitch puts a runner on second. To the plate, outside and in the dirt, and anxiously swinging was Castillas. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Corrales in right field, swung over towards the line a little bit, so that leaves a gap in right center. Shallow in center field is Marco Osuna. 1 ball and 2 strikes. To the plate, inside, 2-2. For the Stars, they got 1 in the 4th, and that's been it so far. For the B&L Rockets, 1 in the 6th, but they plated 4 in the 8th inning, and they are enjoying a 5-1 lead. This one grounded out to the shortstop, Bajorquez. The ball goes through him, and that will create a run. So the runner is on first base on an error, and coming around to score, Acuna, and the count goes to 5-2. Andre Green steps in. Green got a base hit his last time up, but before that struck out swinging and grounded out to Lopez at third. High and inside for a ball. No activity in either bullpen right now. Infielders at double play depth. Lopez at third, well back behind the bag. This one sliced into right field, hit rather sharply, so I doubt very seriously if they'll test the arm of Corrales. And that's exactly what happens as Cochise stops at second base. So 2 runners on now, another base hit. That will only be the 5th base hit that the Cochise Stars have mustered tonight. And Jimmy Norris will step in. Norris, a strikeout victim the last 2 times at bat against Trey Mesa. Has a notion but stays off a pitch in the dirt. The second strikeout recorded by Norris was at the hands of Coleman. The first one was against Mesa. Fouls this one straight back. 1 ball and 1 strike. Two more hits. Takes a look at it, look at first base. They say no. 2 balls and a strike. To the plate down low. 3-1. Romero took a long look at Graybosch at first base, because Green is taking some liberties out there. Pitch is a called strike. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if Romero and Graybosch work something to try to pick Green off of first base. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Pitch fouled off. So we'll go to the 6th and 7th pitch of the at-bat, the 7th pitch of the at-bat. Runners on first and second, 1 run across, 1 out, 5-2 in favor of the BNL Rockets. Tyson Coleman, first time he's been in any kind of trouble here, as Graybosch calls, or rather Norris calls a timeout and steps out. Coleman came in and struck out too quickly and got a ground out in his first inning of work. To the plate, late swing, runs it down to third base. Third baseman goes to first, and I don't believe that he stepped on the bag at third. Now a little discussion here as to whether the third baseman Lopez stepped on the bag at third before he threw to first. It looked to me like he was in front of the bag and did not attempt to step on it because the ball was slowly hit and he had to come on strong to be able to get an out. Chose not to reverse his momentum and try to step back to third. So quite frankly, I believe that the runner was not touched out, or the bag was not touched at third, but the umpires are convening a summit here. Trinidad, Lujan, Dagnino, and Gross talking it over. From here, it looked like Lopez was in front of the bag and never made an attempt to step on it and went to first. They do say that he stepped on it, and so an unassisted to third base out and then to first base, and that ends the ball game. And our final score, with the BNL Rockets coming up with 4 runs in the 8th inning, have won it by a score of 5-2, and they will be in the championship game tomorrow evening for the Sun Belt Playoff Championship. Of course, the Aztecs won the regular season as they had a very good season with 20 wins and only 4 losses. The B&L Rockets will be up against them, and the Rockets were 16-8 on the regular season, but they finished 4 games behind. And as it stands right now, with the win tonight, the B&L Rockets have won 4 games in a row. However, the Aztecs have won 7 in a row as we go through the end of the regular season and into the playoffs. And looking at how the two teams fared against each other during the regular season, the Aztecs won the opener 9-0, and the second and third game, the second one 5-3, and the third game 5-1. But the Rockets came back with a 13-9 win in the fourth game, so it is definitely possible. The Rockets have a fairly decent offensive output. So we have seen what was starting off to be really an outstanding pitcher's battle with Trey Mesa on the mound for the B&L Rockets. He went 6 innings and got 10 strikeouts, 2 walks and 2 hit batters, gave up one unearned run on 2 hits. Well, then Tyson Coleman came in, and Tyson gave up a base hit in the 7th, nothing in the 8th, and gave up a base hit in the 9th. So it came out to where the Rockets, in their win tonight, 5 runs on 9 hits and 2 errors, while the Stars came away with 2 runs on 6 hits. They also committed 2 errors. One of them was one that cost them there in the second inning. So that about does it from Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium in Tucson, Arizona. We will be back tomorrow night at 6:50 for the first pitch for the championship game in the playoffs, and it will be between the Aztecs, the number 1 seed, and the number 2 seed B&L Rockets. From Kino Veterans Memorial Stadium, on behalf of the Sun Belt College Summer League Baseball, this is Alan Scott saying good night.